Dance is a really interesting art because for many other art forms, you get, as an actor, you get your lines and you go home and you memorize them and then you come back again. As a musician, you get your music and you go home and you practice and then you come back to the group. Obviously, writing and painting you do by yourself. With dance, you have to be in the studio with everybody else that is in that piece, creating it together. That process takes a long time. And every part of your body is choreographed. Where does your head look when your leg is doing this? What is your arm doing when, you're turning and things like this? And that takes a lot of time to ensure that everybody, A, knows what the steps are, and B, are doing it exactly the same way. So the rehearsal process is pretty deep. It's every day, and it's, you can spend an hour on a minute of choreography getting it exactly the way it needs to be.
It's pretty intense. We are here every day at the studio, and we rehearse 20 hours a week. Every morning we do class for an hour and a half, which is our way to warm up for the day, but also to work on strengthening our feet and our legs and our cores.
The importance of taking class every single day is monumental. Your body is your instrument, and the things that you're asking it to do are not the same things that Mother Nature has asked it to do, So it's a little bit, it's a lot of really training and maintaining all of these things that are not the most natural things, but with that maintenance, they produce the most beautiful things. Dance is a part of my life, and it's so important to me. And people who are just experiencing dance for the first time, I hope that they realize how amazing it is to experience the human body expressing all of these things without words.
I think part of it is the chance to become someone else, even for just a couple hours. You get to explore a new character or act in a way that you don't normally act, which is exciting. Now, I'm an introvert, so it's kind of a safe way to explore other facets of my personality.
I'm a pretty serious introvert in life, super socially awkward. I have a hard time communicating my feelings to people using words, and I think that's true of a lot of dancers. And dancing is a way that you can do it, but you kind of lose yourself in it. It becomes more about the movement and the music and what you're doing. So it gives you the freedom to open up.
It's really, I think the word raw can sometimes seem a little bit, too much, but it is pretty raw. Like when you see a human body breathing and acting out these things and expressing things that sometimes words can't, it touches you in a really neat place. And sometimes it's really overwhelming, and sometimes it's just what you need. But I think that the most important thing that I hope people get away from this is to have that experience and to see what it does to them, if it changes something in them or if it, just makes them want to experience it more.
There's always more you can give, there's always more you can get, and the more you give, the more you get. The rewards of, I just put everything I have into this, and maybe I touched one person in the audience. Maybe I made somebody cry in a good way, maybe I made somebody smile, maybe just brought a little bit of beauty into somebody's life, and it's so important. Especially now, there's such a need for that. I think what we do is huge in that way.
To be present in the community is everything for, especially for a dance company, because a lot of people don't know that much about dance, specifically ballet. So the more we get out there and be out there in things like the First Friday Art Walk, where people just walk by and then they can experience what we're doing without too much commitment, and then they realize how relatable it is and how accessible it is, and they get drawn in through that, and from there you can discover more of what we do, and just that's just the beginning of opening the book to what ballet has to offer. And then once you get that taste and you get in a little bit further and you can come to a performance and see all that we explore, I think it's vital to get people to understand exactly how accessible ballet is and what it means to experience it live.
I think the moment you go out on stage is kind of a relief. It's all the build-up before. It's like the 2 hours before you go on stage. You're kind of mentally preparing, getting very focused. I have a lot of little rituals that I like to do. I think a lot of dancers do. It's just sort of finding calm in the familiar.
Once I get on stage, it's really just feeding off the energy that the audience provides. Sometimes you can feel the audience breathing with you as you do steps or reacting to what you're doing. So it's really wonderful to know that there are people on the other side of the fourth wall reacting to what you're doing, and they're in that moment with you, which is really awesome because you only get that moment on stage. I feel comfortable when the shows are over because I know that I've put in everything that I have, and even if all of the turns aren't perfect or my balance isn't perfect, I know that I left my heart on the stage, and for me, that's what really counts.
One of the greatest things about ballet and dance, and one of the most frustrating things, is that you make it look effortless. You know, these things that you spend hours and days and weeks and months preparing your body to do. Then you get out on stage and you tell everybody, oh, it's no big deal. I woke up doing this. So it's unbelievable the amount of athleticism that goes and the amount of strength that goes behind making yourself look so ethereal, or making yourself look like, you know, I turn like this every day. It's a lot of, you have to do a lot of cross training, you have to do a lot of maintenance of just joints and ligaments and things like this, you know, get proper rest time, as well as really pushing yourself to the limit every day so that you know that when you go to do this certain move, when you go to turn, when you go to jump, you know what it takes, how it's going to feel, and what you need to do in order to make that happen every time. And it's rigorous training. It's hard work, but it's so worth it.